Hi, today we are discussing about the importance of the Java programming. We all know in the markets there are many programming languages are there. If you look at the software industry, so many programming languages they are being invented, and many people are creating so much programming language, the computer programming language. There is a need of inventing programming language, but still the Java is dominating every programming language in industry. Most of the companies for building applications they are preferring Java technology, Java programming language, software programming language. So what is the significance of Java programming language, and what are its uses? Why the companies and most of the team members or software teams they are still using a Java programming for building enterprise grade applications? So I'll explain those details in this video. You can observe that. So what is a Java programming language? Java programming language, it is an object oriented programming language. It was designed and invented based on object oriented principles, right? So what do you mean by object oriented? See, in this world everything is like an object. Every thing, for example, you take a table, a chair, house, or person, everything we can define as an object, right? Everything. So you consider, if I want to build a real world application, I need a kind of object oriented, because object oriented programming language, because I want to create a software based on object oriented principle. Let's say I want to create a house, for example. I want to create a house in the programming language. The house may contain different objects inside it, right? The house may contain the kitchen or bathroom, and inside the house there are many objects. We can have birwa, so we can have some chairs, tables, and other furniture. So everything you can consider an object, and you can represent this whole idea using a programming language, so to form a software, right? That is called as an object oriented representation. So I just told this example for understanding what do you mean by object oriented concept, and I hope you got what is object oriented. So in the same way, in the software field, if I want to represent build any object, I need a programming language which can do the same. I want to build a real world scenario, real world simulation. I can do that using a Java programming language. If you take other programming language, C language, it is just a procedural oriented programming language. It does not, we cannot create object oriented scenarios using that. And C++ is somewhat object oriented, but it's not fully a thing, right? You take a Python, it is an interpretation language. You take any scripting languages, they are most of the scripting language. .NET is also object oriented programming. But the thing is, Java is a platform independent and object oriented. That means if you develop any Java based application, it will convert that application into a bytecode. That bytecode can be run by run by the JVM installed on any platform. So it is a platform independent. So that is the significance of the Java programming language. So you see here it is mentioned the Java is having it will use the technologies like JSPs, Java Server Pages, Servlets, JDBC. We will discuss about these details clearly going forward. The JSP is a Java Server Pages. If you want to build a front-end page, front-end application for a website, we need a JSP. And servlets, they'll act as intermediate servlet classes. There should be some middleware which actually takes the request and forward that request to database layer. Servlets act as a middleware kind of programs where they'll instantiate the application, and they'll handle the request response, right? In the same way, we have a JDBC. If you want to talk to any database, you need a Java supported database connectors, right? That's where we find the JDBC and all. Spring Hibernate. So I don't want to go deep into the technology, deep into the frame Java programming, and what are its keywords, operators, and how the programming keywords were, what kind of programming keywords are there. I just want to give a high level picture, and I always like to give high level pictures of anything. You see here the core Java. If you want to understand, you can understand basic things. What are the data types, data variables, what are the data types, what are the control structure, operators. Okay, basic, you need to understand the basic things for every programming. And you will also understand the object oriented principle. As I told you, Java is a object oriented programming language. We need to understand object oriented principle. And we have a exception handling, multi-threading. By exception handling, you can handle the exceptions whenever you get an exceptions for a program. There is a very good exception handling in Java. Multi-threading, you can actually create multiple threads, for performing a particular task and scenario. So many collection frameworks to handle or manipulate the data and basic input output. All these things are there. Use case primary for building a console and desktop application. You can actually build and console desktop applications. So many things are there. And advanced Java, as I told you, JSPs, servlets, JDBC, and we do have a Spring and Hibernate framework. So the thing is, the Spring is a framework developed on top of for Java for enterprise level applications. You can actually build enterprise grade application using a Spring framework. And Hibernate is a object relational mapping, ORM related related software. You can actually integrate the Hibernate for the Java application, so that you can actually build entities and map the entity classes to data by fetching the data from database, and you can map that data to entity class, and from there you can actually play around with the entity classes, right? So that is the use of JDBC and all. You see there are so many key advancements are there. We can use the Java for web development. Basically, you can create websites. Most of the time, you take any industry, healthcare industry, banking industry, and you take e-commerce applications. You can take even in NASA also for controlling rover and things, some part of code, and they actually write using the Java. I mean, you can use the Java anywhere in industrial or for embedding technology also you can use. But most of the time for applications, banking and financial applications, majorly they will use the Java programming. They will prefer the Java programming. Banking and financial, most of the, because Java is a platform independent, it is object oriented, it is very secure. So most of the companies, they prefer a Java programming language. So thank you for